Every single day and time news where you definitely need to hear regarding every single matter in the country and all across the world. Well, moving on swiftly. While making this video, we stumbled on a peculiar news coming from the Senate President of Nigeria. Yes. So, yesterday on the 15th of July of 2025, the Senate President, in the presence of Aregbesola, being right and file an appeal to challenge the recent ruling coming from the Federal High Court, which directed the Senate to recall the suspended Senator Natasha Udy, or Dwagan, to the Senate Assembly. Well, take a look at this article coming from the Vanguard that will give you more clarity. So it states a fight back as Scott orders Natasha's Odigan's return. So this man don't want me this lady come back to the Senate, and last week the Federal High Court been telling say bro, so this lady now you guys recall her back into the Senate. That's was coming from the Federal High Court directed by Binta Yano, a judge, where all of us know if they follow Nama's case then definitely you must have heard about Binta Yanko. So Bintao informed the Senate President Saya call back this lady, but this man yesterday being the 15th of July don't go file a fresh appeal, the Court of Appeal to counter the notice coming from the Federal High Courts in Nigeria. So this man, no one see this lady back in the Senate in any way, shape, or form. He's hellbent on pushing her away from the Senate. Well, just in case you don't believe me, showing right now on your screen is the official document, the true copy coming from the Court of Appeal filed by the Senate President through his lawyer, an individual known as Ka Miji, which is SN. So this is the official document. As you can clearly see, it's written in the Court of Appeal Nigeria in the Abuja Judicial Division holding at Abuja. Well, you can pause this particular part of the video to read up and understand and see things for yourself. I mean, you know why our Senate President no one see this lady for his Senate anymore. Well, moving on swiftly, we get an interesting news coming from the country of USA. Remember, I say we got still talk about what the USB Deputy Prime Minister post in the person of Rauf. I feel like say she don't hint us on what if he happened in the future, and we also will talk about the case of Simon because before he was arrested by the Finnish police feel like they don't hint, and say bros they come for you, may you put your house in order, and maybe Simon be teasing a joke, or maybe you know to listen to their orders coming from the police. Well, talking about the President of the USA Donald Trump, no, they play this man, don't come to play with anybody you know, come to shine teeth with any president, this I don't even do self. So the President of the USA one day called the President of Ukraine in the person of Zelensky. Yes. Donald Trump call and say, boss, I want to talk to you. I want us to have a conversation regarding Russia. Zelensky say, okay, tell me what you want to talk. Donald Trump and say, I would want you to fire some shot to the country of Russia. Zelensky say, what happened? Why would you want me to fire shot to a country headed by Putin? To then drop and say, bros, don't worry. I will support you, I going to back you, and make sure you are equipped in all way, shape, or form. Well, just in case you don't believe me, take a look at this article coming from the UK Sun, which states bring the pain bomber, can you hit Moscow? Trump call asking Ukraine leader if he can make Putin feel the pain of war revealed, and this article can't give us more clarity, where it states now Trump reportedly asked Volodymyr Zelensky whether Kyiv could strike Russia's two biggest city if the US supplied the right firepower. Showing right now on your screen is a full conversation between the President of Ukraine and the President of the USA state. Rotor, can you hit Moscow? Can you hit St. Petersburg too? Trump asked during the call, according to the Financial Times, citing two sources briefed on the exchange. Zelensky's answers was swift and direct. Absolutely, we can if you give us their weapons and machinery. As you can clearly see, Trump has made a call informing Zelensky to strike Russia, and Trump will one way or the other support Ukraine to pull off that magnificent feat. So what do we think of all of these things? Well, first thing first, we're going to advise the President of Nigeria not to in any way, shape, or form trigger Donald Trump, because as this country stand, we said we get plenty trouble, where we deal with we go one, add another one join. So, Tinubu, in whatever you do, whatever you say, and your operations, please stay out or stay away from anything that will put you in the bad side of the US and other countries of the world. So, what do we think? Well, we all know that we want peace to return back to the world. Nobody wants all of these things to go on for so long. We want peace to return, and we want countries of the world to be diplomatic in their relations with other countries. Well, with all of that being said, it's left for the President of the USA and the President of Ukraine to put heads together, and also the country of Russia come together and understand yourself better. come to a standard solution and prevent all of this uniling that doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form. We're moving on swiftly. Something happened for the USA. Every single person we get tattoo for their body supposed to pay attention to a lady who once upon a time had tattoos on her face. Who drew tattoos on her face, went to a saloon, a tattoo salon to remove all of the write-ups and drawings on her face. Well, surprisingly, when the artist tries using laser to remove all of those drawings, it caused a lot of reactions on the woman's face. We're showing right now on your screen is the lady in question in the USA who tried removing her tattoos using lasers. And as you can clearly see, her face now is swollen up and she can't even recognize herself. So what really caused this whole incident? Showing right now on your screen are some listings of the possible cause of this particular incident. But I will not bore you with all of these write-ups. So, let's move on to our next news and updates. The Deputy Prime Minister of the USB movement in the person of Ongoro made a two-worded post 3 hours ago. Well, showing right now on your screen is this post. It states, "Be happy." We don't even know why we should be happy at this particular point in time. We don't even know why you watching this video right now should be happy. Is there something that is coming up soon that we don't even know? We just have to wait and find out. We just have to sit back, relax, and wait to see why she's asking individuals to be happy. But in the same post, she tagged one of her previous posts that was released on the 19th of May of 2025 where she was seen dancing and having a good time with her family. Showing right now on your screen is this post. States breaking family time is precious. Take out time to relax and dance, especially when BIAFRA is restored and soon all BIAFRANs will be in homeland. It's a promise. So, as you can clearly see, she mentioned this post in her write-up released 3 hours ago. Is she trying to hint us about a possible release of Simon? Is she trying to hint us about a possible favorable condition or declarations for Nam Danu on the 18th being a Friday? Well, nobody knows for sure. But one thing we know be say this woman don't even know how to dance, because if you watch most of her dance videos, she's not a good stepper, but they try. Kudos to her. Well, moving on swiftly. So, what do we think this Be Happy post can possibly relate to? Well, 2 weeks ago, the Deputy Prime Minister Rauf informed the USB citizens and followers that Simon will be bailed in the coming weeks, and that was mentioned 2 weeks ago, and today makes it 2 weeks after she made that first declaration or post. Does it mean that this man probably will be released anytime soon? Because she's very close to individuals who attended the court session. Does it mean that Simon will be released this week or today? Well, we don't even know. But the one thing we know is that if we get any update regarding Simon's case, we definitely give you a briefing and a broadcast to cover up every single thing that you have to know and see at this particular point in time. Yes. But one thing we know is that the Finnish police had made a statement regarding Simon's case. And this is something you definitely need to see and understand, and that will come up later in this video. Well, let's take a look at a news coming from Anambra State, Nigeria. The current governor of that state and the president of Chikuma, Charles Soludo, has commissioned a project which he has been working on for a while now. So, which construction project did he commission and launch? Well, take a look at this article coming from the governor's official Twitter page where it states the grand opening of the Solutionfront City in Oka yesterday marked a significant milestone signaling a new vista of opportunity for India. Now open for business, the Solutionfront City invites you to experience fresh dimension of Anambra's renewed hospitality. Come and discover the excitement for yourself. May Anambra continue to win? Yes. So, what is this Solutionfront City? When you hear this name, you would think it's a real estate project, a housing project, or anything close to it. But it's a recreational center built primarily to be an entertainment hub in Oka and Anambra State. This Solutionfront City has amusement rights, water park, sports zone, indoor entertainment, country club, bowling, virtual reality games, cinemas, and so on and so forth. So it's more like a ShopRite kind of settings where you can go with your family and have a good time on the weekend. You can go with your family, go with your kids and loved ones and have a proper good time. So the governor of that state has launched a fun city named Solutionfront City, which he believes will go a long way. Well, moving on swiftly, a pastor known as Pastor Bakery came out to give a statement or give a revelation regarding Bari, the late Buhari. Yes, this pastor claimed that one time he himself, that is Pastor Bakery Tunde Bakery, traveled to Kaduna to see the late president in his official residence, one of his homes in Kaduna State. But at some point while entering a particular dining section to have probably a lunch dinner whatsoever, Buhari staggered and almost fell off. At that particular point in time, Buhari shouted, "Jesus Christ of Nazareth." This pastor was astonished and flabbergasted. He was like, "See, you're a Muslim. Why are you shouting Jesus Christ of Nazareth?" And Buhari said, "You don't have monopoly over him. Yes, I can also call his name, because I'm thanking God." This came as a shocker because Pastor Tunde Bakery never expected him, a Muslim, to shout the name of Jesus Christ when he was in a situation. Yes. And this is coming from this pastor. So, what do you think about this whole event? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's true? Or do you think this pastor is trying to whitewash the late president? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll be there to read up every single thing you have to say. Yes. Well, still talking about revelations. I'm still talking about the late president. The current governor of China State, in the person of Governor Rauf, came out to give an expose regarding the conversations he had with the late president. So this governor also visited the late president in his official residence in to have conversations about Bola Tinubu and his administration. They had series of conversation, but I told him that see if Tinubu called me before he called off the fuel subsidy in Nigeria, I will advise him not to do so. I'll repeat, said if call him before he plan on removing the subsidy for subsidy advice. Why well Bowie said he tried removing fuel subsidy during his administration, but a lot of individuals called him and stopped him and gave him reasons why he shouldn't, and those reasons made a lot of sense. So Tina no column Tina did not seek for advice, he just did it all by himself, and that brought a lot of hardship to Nigerians. Buhari also informed this governor that see you can't please Nigerians. So no matter what you do, you can't please Nigerians. Just do your best and leave the rest for God, because Nigerians you cannot please them. They will have something to say if you do bad or if you do good. So live your life, do your best, and be a guild woman. And this is coming from the governor of Kano State in the person of Rauf. So the question here is, why did these guys wait up until the death of this man to make all of these statements to inform Nigerians? Why did you guys wait till he passed on? At this particular point in time, Buhari cannot defend himself. He cannot react and he cannot correct the statement if they are wrong. So as it stands, all of these things are just one-sided statements, and we cannot take them to be 100% accurate or trustworthy. Well, moving on swiftly, let's go to the most interesting part of this whole video, and the reasons why this video was made in the first place. But before we do, you find our videos interesting, please do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever we drop a new video just like this one you are currently watching. So, with all of that being said, let's showcase our main event about Simon. Like we said previously, the Finnish police don't tell Simon say, "Bro, we look you, we observe you, and we investigate you. Put your home in order and probably stop whatever you are doing that might implicate you." Yes. So, how did it all play out? Well, we all know that on the February of 2023, Simon was first invited, or let's say was arrested, by a department known as the Finnish Central Criminal Police. They picked him up at his home in Lodi in one very early morning over suspected illegal fundraising and incitement via social media. He was questioned and briefly detained, then released a few hours later pending further investigation. Yes. When this guy was being questioned, they informed him that, see, we are looking into your case. We are trying to understand the chemistry, the physics, and every other thing that works within your government. The government you claim to be the Prime Minister. They're trying to understand how you have created unrest in Nigeria, southeastern region of Nigeria to be precise. And all of these things happened on the February of 2023, days before the. So we don't even know which companies these guys worked for. But the point here is that the 400 individuals who arrested worked under Simon in different categories. So in last 2 years, when he was first invited or questioned, the department that ran that investigation is known as the Finnish Central Criminal Police. So the police were the department that ran this full investigation, and when they were done with their research and investigations, they submitted every single thing to the NBI that went in, that swept into Simon's house, arrested him, and detained him for further investigations. and interrogations. Well, fast forward on the 21st of November of 2024, he was detained by Finnish National Bureau of Investigation, known as the NBI, along with these 4 individuals. They were charged with public incitement to commit crimes and terrorist intent. Finland's by James Street Court approved his remand. So this is a revelation coming from Finland, which simply means that the arrest of Simon did not come from nowhere. They are claiming that Simon knew that he was going to be invited or arrested in the coming months. But this man failed to put his home in order. He failed to put his social media platforms in order. And this is coming from the Finnish police. This is not from my own words or understanding. Well, fast forward to the early part of this year. The 4 other individuals who are arrested with Simon too were released, and the other 4 were acquainted, but still held in custody. We don't even know the whereabouts of the 2 other individuals, but we know that 2 were fully freed. The other 2 probably are being held somewhere, or their info kept in private. And this is a full revelation coming from the Finnish government. What does this entail? It simply means that Simon knew that all of these things were coming his way. He had a lot of times to prepare. He had 1 full year, and some months to probably prepare and put things in order. Yes. And as we speak, the Pyramid District Court first informed the press that Simon will receive a judgment by the end of this month, being July. But as it stands, it feels like his judgment will take place sometime by the end of this year, being 2025. This is not an interesting one at all. This is not the news you all we expecting to see at this particular point in time. But it's something that has been published and released by the Finnish police, and we have to definitely cover up every single thing that we know regarding that man's case. Well, moving on swiftly. While making this video, we stumbled on a news and article coming from Nigeria because as it stands, Peter Obi wasn't present at Abari's burial yesterday in Ora. Peter Obi wasn't in attendance. And as we speak, a lot of politicians in Nigeria are asking for the northern youths and the northern states in general not to vote for this man called Peter Obi in the next elections that will be held in 2027 because he failed to attend a man's burial. This is highly laughable. Yes. So, this statement particularly was made, or it was coming from Rio Mokri, and we don't have enough time to showcase his tweet. But in a video that will be released by 9 p.m. today by the grace of God, we are going to definitely cover that particular SSION because a lot of things were said, and Inam Danu's name has been mentioned yet again. Well, by 9 p.m. we're going to definitely cover that video so you get to see and understand. But come to think of it, Peter Obi isn't the president of Nigeria. So why is he being dragged into this whole matter? He's just a private citizen who wants to be the president in the future. Why are you dragging him that because he didn't come for barrier? Nobody should vote for him. Is that how we judge politicians in this country? Well, nobody knows for sure. But one thing we know is that yesterday we noticed something regarding Simon's case. Because as it stands, people in the USB government have somehow, someway forgotten about Simon. And in a video released yesterday, we showcase the fact that Simon has been neglected and abandoned all by himself in Kila Makoski Correctional Center.